So we've had a full slate of Premier League games this week, and all 10 games had fans in. I mean, how good was it just to see fans at these games this past week?
It was pretty beautiful. You almost forget which atmospheres are seen as the best ones and which ones aren't, which is quite interesting. They're all now say pretty equal, but obviously no one will compare on Sunday to the full force of the whole thing.
I mean, you can keep dreaming, but it's not that decent.
Sorry, I didn't hear much from the Stretford end
To be realistic.
this past week. And all we heard from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was boo.
Exactly. Get on to Tottenham in a minute or two, but there's the big game of the midweek, and that was a replay of last Saturday's FA Cup final between Chelsea and Leicester City. And it was Thomas Tuchel that ran out 2-1 winners, with Jorginho scoring a penalty and an unlikely goal for Antonio Rudiger, as the Blues managed to secure all 3 points. Chelsea looked a lot more up for this game and really wanted to get that victory over Leicester, it seemed.
They got their revenge. It's literally as simple as that. It's a big step towards the Champions League qualification that they need. Pretty much, it would be a bit massive disappointment for them if they miss out on that.
Yeah. Timo Werner, once again, an action-packed game for the German international. He had got ruled out for offside. There's one ball that should have, but wasn't given. And the game, I mean, what are your whole thoughts on Werner's situation in this game?
Well, I don't know how he didn't get the first one. Like, how did he get the second one? We know which one I'd be giving as a penalty.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I mean, we've said this 1,000,001 times on the show, but the VAR decisions now are just getting more bamboozling with each game, and it's never clear as to what is and what isn't a penalty, because like you said, that first one is more of a penalty than anything that second one been for. So, like, how has that been given, yet the first one wasn't for him?
Well, we'll never know. Like, VAR is this clusterfuck that's ran by a group of people that we perceive to be idiots.
Yeah.
Like, it's just how it feels. Watching as a football fan, it's just degrading.
Yeah. And just making, like, I know there was only about 25% of fans in games this week, but even before that, when we had full fans last season in stadiums, the sureness of fans celebrating a goal and for it then to be ruled out, whether it's offside, which again Werner did have in this game, or a penalty decision, it seems to be ruining football, not making it better.
Poor Chelsea had to deal with 3 of them in the past 5 days.
I mean, Werner this season has been involved in 43 offsides, which is the most in all competitions.
I want to know how many of those actually resulted in goals. How many of those times has he put the ball in the net from him?
I would be surprised about 15, 20. I mean, this guy this season, he really has been unlucky. But yeah, like you said, this result puts Chelsea in good stead to get Champions League football and puts the pressure on Leicester City to make a challenge for the top 4, as they have fallen out of the top 4 down into 5th place, as Liverpool got a result on Wednesday evening against Burnley, winning 3-0 at Turf Moor, with Roberto Firmino, Nathaniel Phillips scoring his first goal for the club, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the score sheet for Jurgen Klopp's side. Are they actually going to make the top 4? Surely not.
They could finish top 3. So, this season's been weird enough. I don't rule out anything.
Yeah. It really could be.
But how have they done this?
I genuinely, I don't know, because if you think at the start of 2021, everyone was marking them for taking forever to score at home and pick up points, and then some of their losses as well this year and now they just seem to have gone on a bit of form. But it's also have that Leicester have been on an up and down road recently in terms of league results. I mean, think back, what was it, 2 weeks ago now, that loss to Newcastle? No one would have expected that.
No, but then again, Leicester a bit better than they were last season. Like, it's not been as big a drop off. But they
I mean, I think
be completely disappointed if they do miss out. I mean, they would have said FA Cup or Champions League. We'll have the FA Cup, thanks.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, it's the first time in their history that they've won the FA Cup, but it's not really good to be in the position where they were, so clear of third and fourth, to then potentially miss out on Champions League football next season, which would be an incredible feat for Liverpool if they do come over and rescue that. Right, elsewhere in the Premier League this week, on Tuesday, Leeds United beat Southampton 2-0 to secure a top 10 finish for the first time in their return to the Premier League. Very well worked game from Marcelo Bielsa today.
Yeah, it was weird. I was watching that first half, and it did seem like Southampton were having the better of the game. Like they were probably unlucky not to score. But Leeds did what Leeds do. This myth of Marcelo Bielsa teams just not playing well in like the second half of the season because they tail off is clearly exactly what they say it is. It's a myth.
Yeah.
They're just non-existent right now.
And have proven many doubters, including myself, wrong this season. I mean, I had them go straight back down because obviously I wasn't expecting that Bielsa ball to work in the Premier League, and obviously their first time back in the Premier League in 14 years. I just thought they were going to struggle, but credit to them, they've managed to do it really well. And I think if they sharpen up defensively next season, then they should be all. It's a long way to go next season, until the end of next season. No one knows what's going to happen. I mean, we don't know whether Bielsa is going to be there because I think he's on a rolling contract as always. So his contract does come to the end of this season. Yeah. I mean, it's like he will likely stay at the club.
It would be not only a massive shock, but an almighty blow if he was to walk out now.
Yeah, I think if he was to go, then they would probably struggle next season.
Yeah, then again, it would depend on who they bring in.
But don't worry, Leeds fans. As far as we're aware, at this moment in time recording, Bielsa will be staying next season. Right, elsewhere on Tuesday, Manchester United and Fulham played.
If you don't, they're going to hate when they find out Dean Smith's probably in the running.
Wow.
If you see some of that, they despise Dean Smith, and I don't know why. No hatred, but
was it not because of that incident 2 years ago?
Yeah, they've just hated ever since. Now. There's just a mini rivalry that's brewed now, just on the back of that incident.
Yes. Elsewhere, Man United and Fulham played out a 1-1 draw. A wonderful goal by Edison Cavani gave Man United the lead with a lob shot from 40 yards out. Eric Cantona-esque, you gotta say?
Last time I checked, Eric Cantona was onside when he scored his one.
Eric who? Cantona.
Listen, leave me alone.
That's what it sounded like you just said.
I'm malfunctioning tonight. It's like...
Yeah, but it wasn't enough for Man United as they were pegged back late on with Joe Bryan scoring the goal for Fulham. But means nothing for United. They've already wrapped up second place with Leicester dropping points to Chelsea, and their focus now is just going to be on next Thursday when they play in the Europa League final.
So are you going to sit there and tell me
Fulham obviously were relegated?
Didn't touch that ball? That's a yes. He touches that ball.
He himself, he said he didn't touch it. No, I'm going to take the player's word because he's closer to the action than I ever was at that. So I'm taking his word over anyone else's.
We take his word for it because, Manchester United player said at Old Trafford that he didn't do anything wrong. Oh, well, he's right then. Believe him. Jury's out.
Elsewhere in the Premier League on Tuesday, Brighton beat Manchester City 3-2. I mean, City were winning 2-1 as well. I mean, they did play the majority of the game with 10 players after João Cancelo got sent off early on. Brighton 3-2 winners, man. Wow.
The way you said that, an absolute surprise. But no, they did pretty well. Man City just seems to have tailed off, waiting for the Champions League final.
Yeah. There seemed to be a bit of altercation between Pep Guardiola and Graham Potter after the game.
The argy-bargy.
Seemed to be that, seemed Guardiola wasn't happy with how Potter was reacting to the win, which I don't know why he's complaining for. It's not like he did the full-on Adebayor knee slide in front of Pep Guardiola, is it?
Do you think he threatened to throw Pep's cigars away? Does that I'll come to your office and I'll smoke on his cigars, you?
And slap your bald head.
I wasn't going that far, but
You led me down the alleyway, so I'm sorry. I had to go down there.
Does Pep needs to take another cigar just to calm himself down now?
Yeah, he does.
That video, he seems that he's best when he has a cigar in him. Cigar, bit of Wonderwall on in the background.
That will calm him down in time for the Champions League final next week. On Wednesday, Everton beat Wolves 1-0. Newcastle beat Sheffield United by the same scoreline. Arsenal put 3 past Crystal Palace in Roy Hodgson's last home game, in charge of the Eagles after he announced earlier on this week that he would be leaving after 4 years at the club. West Ham beat West Bromwich Albion by the same scoreline, and then after the game, West Brom manager Sam Allardyce also said he'd be stepping down at the end of this season. And the big game, or the big talking point, obviously, was between your side, Aston Villa, and Tottenham. Possibly the greatest own goal in Premier League history.
I really talked about Villa's goal season.
I mean, how did Sergio Reguilon even do that?
You saying this is all on Reguilon, but I call this masterful assist by Marvellous Nakamba. Marvellous by name, marvellous by nature.
That was so weird. I was literally just to say the
Zimbabwean Kante, you could say.
That is a bit.
But no, Spurs are terrible.
Nakamba, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been a bad year for them, and obviously got worse at half-time and full-time, where their players were booed off the pitch following the result. Like you said,
14 months away, and the first game they've all come back, and they booed them off.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not ideal, really, is that?
No, not ideal in the slightest. And could that have been Harry Kane's last home game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
You've only had to see the scenes at the end and the interview that Gary Neville has managed to secure that says, "I'm off, see you later, bye."
Yeah, in short summary, he does.
Did you see there's like a free
office?
There was like a 3-second clip that went around the AVFC hashtag as well that I saw, and it's Kane mouthing. Oh God, what was it now? It weren't great. It was literally. No, it was against his own team, obviously. Not about us, Christ. He wants to come to us. We've already offered £10 million in Keenan Davis. I forgot what it was now, but he says, like, it's something along the lines of, I can't fucking be arsed with this anymore. Like, around those lines. It's very words.
Yeah.
I'm going to find it. Carry on.
Well, yeah. Not the best of evenings for Spurs. And did we mention the Liverpool game? I completely forgot where we have now.
Well, no, I think we did. I don't know how we didn't. How have you done that?
Yes. We are going down to the final day of the season for the places in Europe. 3rd down to 9th can all get a European place. And it will be interesting to see who does get the final European places. Obviously, third and fourth get Champions League, fifth and sixth get Europa League, and seventh place has to qualify for the Europa Conference League, which is obviously the new tournament that comes into play next season. And a quick look ahead to this weekend's games for those that are keen. Aston Villa play Chelsea at 4 o'clock. All games kick off at 4 o'clock, so that'll be an interesting watch. Leicester City play host to Tottenham Hotspur, both teams needing to win to get into their respective European competitions. Liverpool play host to Crystal Palace. Again, Crystal Palace are Liverpool's bogey team in recent years. I mean, there has been a few thumping defeats in favour of Liverpool, but everyone thinks back to 2014 season, aka Cristanbul. So don't ever write off Crystal Palace. Manchester City versus Everton in a very interesting game. Will Manchester City field a weak squad, or will Pep Guardiola go all strong as they want to celebrate their title in style in front of their fans? And Arsenal play host to Brighton at the Emirates Stadium, with the Gunners having a small chance of making Europa Conference League. I mean, it's going to be a very exciting final weekend in the Premier League, isn't it?
We better be. I mean, we have an actual chance at having a massive say in the top 4 race.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you lot, you're not involved in it in terms of you potentially being in that fourth space, but
I'd give it a few years.
maybe next year. Right.